Bickley and Marotta Mornings. Arizona Sports. The local sports leader. Bickley Blast.
The Cardinals are coming out of a very dark period of football, a dark period of nearly 4 years that all began with the loss to Aaron Rodgers. You remember that night, don't you, when the Packers beat Kyler Murray and A.J. Green, triggering a downfall that took years to fix. So here's an idea on Sunday. Let's repay the favor and send Rodgers off to his own dark space, maybe even an ayahuasca cave. Let's repay him with a victory that will end any hope of the Jets making a late playoff run. And if that sounds personal, yeah, it kind of is. But this is bigger than me and my contempt for Rodgers. This is another huge turnkey game for the Cardinals. Win this, and they are 6-4, entering a bye week, perfectly situated to make a playoff push, maybe even win the division and host a home game. Yes, it's all right in front of them. After all, these Cardinals have mastered the art of giving it all without the results, building a new culture during a 13-loss season last year. Now they know what it feels like to win, to be fashionable, to be talked about, to be the hunter and not the hunted, to be in the game. And I'm hoping it's a feeling they'll never let go, and certainly not against Aaron Rodgers. All right, today's Bickley Blast brought to you by my great friends at Chapman BMW, who make luxury attainable. Find them online at chapmanbmw.com.
Watching Buda Baker on film, that's impressive. I mean, he's a really impressive guy. He does so many different things, DB. You got to love watching this guy. He shows up all over the place. You know, he lines up in different spots. He's run all over the place. He's a phenomenal tackler. He throws his body around. He reminds me, and I want to say this with a ton of respect because I used to love this guy, but Bob Sanders. Bob was such a wild man out there. I mean, he was not the biggest dude, but he threw himself around. He always was around the pile, big hits, great tackler. But, man, Baker, he's a special player. He's fun to watch on film, and he's definitely a guy you got to be aware of.
That's Aaron Rodgers. Giving props to Buda Baker, Cardinals safety, on the Pat McAfee show yesterday. Always a bleep in there. Pat McAfee show. The rules don't apply there. By the way, did you see him on College Game Day?
No.
Just totally drop an F-bomb on purpose? Nothing happened.
Well, yeah.
Pat McAfee did?
Yes.
That's part of his deal. That's part of his shtick, right?
Yeah.
How far can I push ESPN? So there you go. And I hope Buda Baker gets a whole lot of Aaron Rodgers this weekend. It'd be a good game for him. Be a real good game for this Cardinals secondary to continue playing to the praise that they have received this week, right? And
yes.
as I said yesterday, it wasn't that long ago when we were wringing our hands at this defense's inability to get off the field on third down. How could they be such a bad third down team? Even after their 6 sacks against the Bears, they still ranked 31st in pass rush win rate.
You said it.
Even with 6 sacks, that's still the case?
Yes.
Goodness.
So my point is that we obviously all want to believe very, very badly. Recency bias has never been greater in the NFL, and we want to believe that the Cardinals now have got everything they need defensively. And those cornerbacks are growing into something really special, that they're going to represent the back end of a great defense for years to come. It's still premature for that. Aaron Rodgers can still spin the ball. He's got a lot of weapons. The team is largely underachieved, and I'm telling you, the Jets are going to. This is kind of like it for the Jets. If they lose this game, as I said in the blast, they're done. If they win this thing, they're going to convince themselves that they can make a run at making the playoffs.
I agree with you there, and they weren't active yesterday, but they made moves before the deadline. Obviously, some of the bigger moves made before the deadline were by the New York Jets. You talked in the blast, too, about the Cardinals are starting to get a little momentum in terms of people noticing them. Like, they remember when you were in junior high and you came back first day of school, there was always that girl that stood out that changed over the summer. Like, I don't remember her being cute. What happened?
Yeah.
The Cardinals are kind of the cute girl now. And I sent you all the power rankings that I tracked. Yeah. And for the first time, nobody's ranked them in the 20s. Now, you had them at number 10 in your top 10.
They're a first-place team.
They are. They came pretty close to getting into the top 10. USA Today had them at number 11, but their average ranking this week is 13.9 in these 12 power rankings. They moved up an average of 3.5 spots per power ranking, which was not the case after the Dolphins win. Remember there was an outlet that actually moved them down and had them at 22 after that win.
Yes.
And if you start from week 1, where there was no expectation for this team whatsoever, they've moved up an average of 11.5 spots per power ranking since week 1. So, and a lot of the themes and the write-ups are about the momentum that they're getting and the job that Jonathan Gannon and his staff are very quietly doing with this team. Because, again, outside of Kyler Murray and, to a degree, Marvin Harrison Jr. and Budda Baker, there is nobody really that recognizable even to in-tune football fans outside of Arizona.
No,
it's a very anonymous football team.
That's a great point. Some people might know Jalen Thompson a little bit, but you're absolutely right.
James Conner.
Yeah, and James Conner, yeah, and that's a tribute to what the coaching staff's been able to do, is to be able to craft a team that is right on the fringes of being really good without the requisite high-end talent. In fact, if you were going to gauge overachieving football teams, I'm pretty certain Cardinals would be near the top of that list. And so again, every game a good football team plays comes down to a million different factors, but just one overarching question: was your quarterback the best one on the field? This is another test for Kyler Murray. You were better than Tua Tagovailoa. You were better than Caleb Williams. Now you got to be better than Aaron Rodgers. I don't know what it's going to look like. Listen, we knew there are a ton of Chicagoans here. There's a lot of New Yorkers here as well. Jets fans, do they believe in this team that much to go and try to take over a stadium? I guess the answer is yes. Yeah.
I mean, with all due respect, Jets fans are like cockroaches. You can spray them with all the medicine, or all the bug killer you want. They're just not going to die.
You just proved that after the phrase, with all due respect, you can say just about anything.
Yes.
They are cockroaches.
Nothing kills them.
With all due respect.
Nothing kills them.
Yeah.
Watch the antics of Mike Greenberg every season on ESPN. It's like a roller coaster. But when they got Devontae Adams, they still had a losing record, and he announced, we're back.
Look, I know this firsthand from growing up in Chicago as a Cubs fan, that sports towns stuck with horrible franchises, it's the weirdest thing. Their fan base now begins to vibe on that identity. Can you believe it again? Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, the Red Sox for a long time.
We're so victimized. Can you believe
Cleveland
they're
Browns
doing it to me again?
It's such a fascinating topic.
Yeah.
When you delve into it. The Cubs are the epitome of that. The lovable losers will get them next year.
Yeah.
And they had fans packing that place for years and years and years, and over 100 years without a World Series. But then you get to that, and does that indicate a good sports town? Most people would say yes. But logical thinkers would say that's a terrible sports town. You're supporting a terrible product.
That's it. Because, and I lived this firsthand, the owners of the Cubs went, okay, why would we ever pay to be good when the stadium is already full of gullible sheep? Where is the incentive to winning if you've got a fan base that is there for you at all times? Yeah, it's a fascinating question.
Yes.
And it probably applies to Jets fans. Just this, gotta beat this guy. For my well-being.
Just do it for Bickley.
Just for me.
He needs this.
That's it. Make it all about me.
Thanks for watching Bickley and Marotta. Click to see the latest Bickley Blast and hit the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.